Hello students. Today we start with chapter 3 of your Maths 1 portion, that is trigonometric functions. Now trigonometry is a concept which has been introduced to you right from standard 10th. We do this because trigonometry is used in daily life as well. Yes, you cannot believe it, isn't it? Trigonometry is used in various fields such as geography, engineering sciences. It is used to find the height and distance of things and has many other uses. Now in this lesson, we are going to use trigonometric functions as equations and to try to solve those equations. We have learnt about algebraic equations in the past. Isn't it? Algebraic equations are of this form. For example, 2x plus 4 is equal to 0 where x is a variable. We can find the value of x as minus 2. Similarly, this is again an algebraic equation involving two variables x and y. What is the solution of this equation? It can be x as 0, y as 2. It can be x is equal to 3, y is equal to 0. It can be x is equal to 1, y is equal to 4 upon 3 and so on and so forth. Thus, there are many solutions for this particular equation. Thus, we can say that algebraic equations have either finite solution or infinite number of solutions. Now, when we use trigonometric functions such as sin x, cos y, tan x, etc. in an equation, we get a trigonometric equation. So those equations are called trigonometric equations. Thus, we define a trigonometric equation as an equation involving trigonometric functions of variables. Thus, instead of x, we can have sin x. Instead of y, we can have cos y, tan y, cot y and so on. And when we use it as an equation, it forms a trigonometric equation. For example, sin theta is equal to half, tan theta is equal to 2, cos 3 theta is equal to cos 5 theta. These are all examples of trigonometric equations where theta is the variable over here. So how do we find the solutions of trigonometric equations? When we write an equation, we have to find the solution, right? For example, if we write sin x is equal to half. In simplest terms, we know that sin 30 is half from our past knowledge actually. Thus, we can write x as 30 degree or in radians, it is pi by 6 radians. Similarly, if we have cos x is equal to 1 upon root 2 as an equation, we know that cos of 45 is 1 upon root 2. Thus, we can write x as 45 degrees or pi by 4 radians. Thus, we can have finite solutions for trigonometric equations. Or we can also have infinite solutions for trigonometric equations. So, solutions of trigonometric equations can be finite or infinite. Now, in your mind, it should come, how come infinite? How come trigonometric equations have infinite solutions? They have infinite solutions because of this property of them, which is called as periodicity. Yes, what is periodicity? Periodicity is a tendency to repeat at intervals. Most of these trigonometric equations, most of the trigonometric functions have a tendency to repeat at suitable intervals, that is it. For example, if you were to draw the graph of sin theta, where the y-axis contains all the values of sin theta and the x-axis contains all the values of the angle theta, it would come somewhat like this particular graph that is there. It would come as a curve, and as you can see, the curve is going on repeating itself at suitable intervals. So thus, sine functions are periodic in nature. Thus, for example, sine 0, sine pi, sine 2 pi, sine 3 pi, generalizing sine n pi, all of them have value 0. Thus, sine functions, angles of sine functions, have the habit of repeating at regular intervals. Many of the sine angles have the same value, in other words. Same thing can be said for cos functions also. As you can see from the graph, cos functions, cos of any angle, cos of various angles, have a tendency to repeat at regular intervals. Thus, trigonometric functions are periodic in nature, we can see. So, how to find the solution for trigonometric equations? We define two types of solutions over here. We define, first of all, principal solution, and then we also define what is a general solution. So, I hope you have understood till here what we are discussing. What is a principal solution? The solution of a trigonometric equation of unknown angle x, where x lies between 0 and 2 pi, are called as principal solutions. In simple words, the value of the angle x should come between 0 and 360 degrees. Although we can have infinite number of solutions for a trigonometric equation, we restrict the domain over here as to coming between 0 and 360. Only those values, only those answers are called its principal solutions. So before going further, I want to remind you regarding allied angles which you studied last year. If the angle is theta, then these angles, that is minus theta, pi plus or minus theta, 2 pi plus or minus theta, and pi by 2 plus or minus theta are called as its allied angles. I want you to concentrate on this particular portion which has been shaded in orange for you. Okay, that is the angles minus theta, pi minus and plus theta, and 2 pi minus theta. These are the angles which you will be dealing with in this particular part of the lesson. So for example, just to help you out, I will also include the standard unit circle over here where you can see in various quadrants what are the signs of the various trigonometric functions which are there. So let me remind you regarding sine. Then you can think about cos and tan for yourselves. If the angle is sine theta, we know that sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. We have already proved this last year. Now what about sine pi minus theta? Now pi minus theta comes in the second quadrant. As you can see, in the second quadrant, sine is positive. The sign for the second quadrant is minus plus. The y coordinate is always sine. So as a result, sine is positive in the second quadrant. So sine of pi minus theta is the same as sine theta. What about pi plus theta? Pi plus theta comes in the third quadrant, the angle. And in the third quadrant, sine is negative. So sine of pi plus theta comes out to be minus sine theta, negative sine theta. And the last one, 2 pi minus theta. 2 pi minus theta comes in the fourth quadrant. The angle comes in the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, sine is negative, as you can see. So as a result, sine of 2 pi minus theta is minus sine theta. In the same way, you can figure out for cos and tan values. Once you understand sine and cos values, it is easy enough to think about tan, because tan is sine upon cos, isn't it? So in this way, just remind yourselves what you did last year regarding the allied angles. Spend some time on this particular slide, get this thorough so that you understand the exercise as we do it next. I also want to remind you regarding the trigonometric values of some angles which you had studied right from your 10th standard actually. Angles particularly 30, 45 and 60 degrees. All these angles, that is at least sine, cos and tan. You know that once you know about sine and cos, you can automatically find out what is tan of an angle by doing sine upon cos, isn't it? So just remind yourselves regarding sine of 30, 45, 60 and cos of the same. Again, you know the method of learning them. You have already learned them properly. So just refresh yourselves with this table and then we go further with the exercise that is there. Now in the exercise, we are going to deal with different types of sums. The questions are all going to be the same, that is, find the principal values of the following equations. Now first equation given here is cos theta is equal to half. Now we know that cos of 60 degree is half and 60 degree in terms of radians is pi by 3 radians, isn't it? This we already know from last year's data. When we studied the first lesson of last year, we studied how to convert an angle in degrees into radians. Okay, so as a result, cos of pi by 3 is half. Now from the allied angle table, or rather from the standard unit circle which you can see over here in this diagram, you see that cos is positive in the first quadrant as well as in the fourth quadrant. Now fourth quadrant means 2 pi minus theta. So thus we can write cos theta is equal to cos 2 pi minus theta. Now put theta as pi by 3 in both sides of the equation, that is on both LHS and RHS. Put theta as pi by 3 and see what value you are getting. Thus we can write cos pi by 3. See what I have done? I have put theta as pi by 3 over here. So cos pi by 3 is cos 2 pi minus theta, that is 2 pi minus pi by 3. Solving that 2 pi minus pi by 3 by cross multiplication, we get cos 5 pi by 3. Now 5 pi by 3 means in angles, that is in degrees, it becomes 300 degrees. So pi by 3, that is 60 degree, and 5 pi by 3, 300 degrees. Keep that in mind. And then going further, thus we can say cos pi by 3 is the same as cos 5 pi by 3. and both of them are equal to half, because we know that cos pi by 3 is half. Therefore, cos 5 pi by 3 is also half. Now let us check whether pi by 3 and 5 pi by 3 fall between 0 and 360. So this way we check it. Is 0 less than pi by 3? Yes, 0 is less than 60 degree, isn't it? And similarly, is 60 degree less than 360? Of course it is. So we write 0 less than pi by 3, which is less than 2 pi. What about 5 pi by 3? As we know, 5 pi by 3 is 300 degrees. So 0 is less than 5 pi by 3, which is less than 2 pi. So both these angles are falling within the domain which we decided for the principal solution. And as a result, we can write that the principal solutions of cos theta over here are theta is equal to pi by 3 and theta is equal to 5 pi by 3. Thus the answers are obtained. Now, I know that initially this would be confusing. So I want you to concentrate properly, go through the slide, study it with the aim of understanding, not just breezing through, and get the concept thoroughly in mind. We go to the next sum now. Next sum, sec theta is equal to 2 upon root 3. Now here, it is easier if we convert the sec into cos, by remembering that cos theta is a reciprocal of sec theta. So cos theta is 1 upon sec theta. So if sec theta is 2 by root 3, cos theta is a reciprocal of 2 by root 3. That means cos theta is root 3 by 2. Now we proceed just like the previous sum. Cos theta is root 3 by 2. Cos pi by 6, that is cos of 30, is root 3 by 2. We know this already from our previous knowledge. So as a result, we write cos pi by 6 is equal to root 3 by 2. By allied angles, cos theta is equal to cos 2 pi minus theta, just like in the previous sum. Where is cos positive? Cos is positive in the first and the fourth quadrant. That is, theta is the same as 2 pi minus theta, where cos is concerned. Thus we substitute here theta as pi by 6. So as a result, cos pi by 6 is equal to cos 2 pi minus pi by 6. Now 2 pi minus pi by 6 is actually 11 pi by 6. And what is 11 pi by 6 in degrees? It is 330 degrees. Thus, we have cos pi by 6, which is equal to cos 11 pi by 6, which is equal to root 3 by 2. And both these angles, that is 30 degree pi by 6 and 330 degrees 11 pi by 6, both of them fall between 0 and 2 pi. Thus, these are the principal solutions here, that is pi by 6 and 11 pi by 6. Now remember, whatever I have given in brackets in blue color need not be written in the exam. It is just for your reference. You may write it, no problem, but then you may not write it. It doesn't cut you any marks if you don't write it as well. It is just for your reference that I have given these values so that you don't get confused with the radians and degrees there. So yeah, this standard unit circle for your reference has been given here. Now the next sum, cot theta is equal to root 3. We convert cot into tan by taking the reciprocal of cot. So if cot theta is root 3, tan theta is 1 upon root 3. Now we proceed in the same way. We know that tan pi by 6 is 1 upon root 3. That is tan 30 is 1 upon root 3. By allied angles, we know that tan is positive in the third quadrant. As you can see in the figure, tan is positive in the first and third quadrant. So as a result, tan theta is equal to tan pi plus theta. Okay, I hope you are understanding that it is easier to solve the equation if you convert cot into tan actually. And then we put theta as pi by 6 as usual. So tan pi by 6 becomes equal to tan pi plus pi by 6. Solving it, it becomes tan 7 pi by 6. And what is 7 pi by 6? 7 into 30. See, pi by 6 is 30 degree. So 7 into 30, 210 degree. So tan pi by 6 and tan 7 pi by 6 both have the same value, that is 1 upon root 3. Do they fall in the domain? Yes. Both of them come between 0 and 2 pi, as you can see over here. Thus our solutions are pi by 6 and 7 pi by 6 for this particular sum that is it. Next we have to find the value of cot theta is equal to 0. We cannot convert cot into tan over here because tan would become 1 upon 0, which is not defined. Thus we do it this way. Now we know the value of cot 90 from our last year's data. Cot 90 is 0 actually. Okay, cot pi by 2 is 0. Now by allied angles, okay, cot is positive in the first and the third quadrant. So as a result, cot theta is equal to cot pi plus theta. So substituting theta as pi by 2, we get cot pi by 2 is equal to cot 3 pi by 2 like so, and both of them are 0. Now 3 pi by 2 means 3 into 90, which is 270 degrees. And both 90 and 270 lie between 0 and 360. Thus we get the value of theta as 90 and 270, that is pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2. If you have understood this far, then the next sum should be also easy for you, where we have sine theta is equal to 1 upon root 2. We know that sine 45 is 1 upon root 2. Thus sine pi by 4 is 1 upon root 2. By allied angles, sine theta and sine pi minus theta are equal. You can guess it from our standard unit circle. Therefore, substituting theta as pi by 4, we have sine pi by 4 is equal to sine pi minus pi by 4, which is 3 pi by 4. Here 3 pi by 4 is 3 into 45, which is 135 degree. Thus we have the value for sine pi by 4 and sine 3 pi by 4, both coming as 1 upon root 2. We check whether 45 and 135 degrees lie between 0 and 360. Of course, they lie between 0 and 360. Thus, these are our solutions. These two sums, which are in the same way as the previous ones, can be tried out as an assignment by you in your notebook. In fact, write all these sums in the notebook and practice them. Not only the ones which are given here as assignment, but also the ones which I am solving for you. Solve them compulsorily in the notebook. The next question is also the same. Find the principal solutions. Here, we have to find the principal solutions for certain negative values which are given there. So first question, sine theta is equal to minus half is given. So here, we already know that sine 30 is half. That is sine pi by 6 is half. Now, we check over here as to where is sine negative. In this sum onwards, from this sum onwards, whenever negative values are given on the RHS, we check where the trigonometric functions are negative, in which quadrant are they negative. We find that sine is negative in the third quadrant. Thus, sine pi plus theta is minus sine theta. And similarly, sine is also negative in the fourth quadrant. Sine 2 pi minus theta is also equal to minus sine theta. You can check from the standard unit circle over here. Then, thus we put theta as pi by 6. So we get sine pi plus pi by 6 is same as minus sine pi by 6 from the first equation. And from the second one, sine 2 pi minus pi by 6 is also minus sine pi by 6. And thus we have solving pi plus pi by 6. It becomes 7 pi by 6. So sine 7 pi by 6 is equal to 2 pi minus pi by 6 is actually cross multiplying etc. It becomes sine 11 pi by 6. So sine 7 pi by 6 is equal to sine 11 pi by 6. Both are equal to minus 1 upon 2. Now what is 7 pi by 6 in degrees? Solving it, 7 into 30 becomes 210 degrees. Similarly, 11 pi by 6, as you can see, it is 330 degrees. We find that both of them lie between 0 and 360, 0 and 2 pi. And thus, these are the principal solutions. Check the sum properly, pause the video, study it properly, and then go on to the next sum. In the next sum, tan theta is equal to minus 1. We know that tan 45 is 1. That is tan pi by 4 is 1. By allied angles, we check where is tan negative. We find that tan is negative in the second and the fourth quadrant. Thus, we write tan pi minus theta as minus tan theta. Similarly, tan 2 pi minus theta is also minus tan theta. Next step, same thing, substitute theta as pi by 4. So, tan pi minus pi by 4 and also tan 2 pi minus pi by 4. Both give us minus tan pi by 4. Thus, we have tan pi by 4 means tan 3 pi by 4 is equal to tan 7 pi by 4 by solving 2 pi minus pi by 4. Both of them give us minus 1. Now 3 pi by 4, you already know it is 135 degree and 7 pi by 4 is 315 degree. Thus, we check whether both of them lie between 0 and 360. Yes, they do lie between 0 and 2 pi, that is 360. And thus, these are the solutions for the equations. The next sum, you can do it as an assignment and check your answers. You can always message me if you are getting a different answer. The next sum, root 3 cosec theta plus 2 is equal to 0. We can solve it like this, that is cosec theta is equal to minus 2 upon root 3 from the previous equation. Convert cosec theta into sin theta by taking the reciprocal of cosec. Sin is 1 upon cosec theta. So sin theta becomes reciprocal of the given value, that is sin theta becomes minus root 3 by 2. You can complete the sum as an assignment now. Answers are given in the bracket for your comparison. The next sum as well can be done just like the fourth sum and do it in your notebook as an assignment and check out your answers. In the next lecture, we are going to go through general solutions of trigonometric functions. Now students, this might come out as a hard concept for you in the beginning, especially for those of you who have been leaving trigonometry as optional in the previous years. You cannot afford to do that this year. Believe me, trigonometry is easy and interesting. If you put your mind to it, if you put a bit of effort in understanding the sums, be patient and try to understand it as thoroughly as possible. Do some research, give it some time. Don't think that it will come to you in a jiffy or in a minute, and become thorough in the lesson actually. Till we meet in the next lecture. Bye students.